Right, up to now we discussed about the applications of total internal reflection, right? Where we can observe this total internal reflection, we can observe the total internal reflection in mirages, and then the second one is brilliance of diamond, and the third one is the optical fibers, right? Where we are using these optical fibers, we are using these optical fibers in endoscopy to see the internal organs like throat and stomach, intestines, and these optical fibers are used in transmitting the communication signals through the light pipes. And the third use of optical fiber is we can use this optical fiber in international telephone cables. Okay, this is about what we discussed up to now. Right, now let us see what happens when the light is passed through a glass slab. Okay, what happens when we pass the light through a glass slab? What is the definition of glass slab? Glass slab is formed when a medium is isolated. When a medium is isolated from its surroundings by two plane surfaces. Okay, this is called a glass slab. Right, now I will show how the glass slab will be. Right, this is a glass slab. Okay, there is a medium is present inside the glass slab, which is separates from the surrounding medium. That means the medium which is present inside the glass slab will be the denser medium. Okay, and the outside the glass slab will be the air. Okay, this medium is separates by the two plane surfaces. You can see here. This is one plane surface. At the other side also you can see the other plane surface. The two plane surfaces separates a medium with the surrounding medium, that we call it as a glass slab. See, this is a glass slab. This is a rectangular glass slab. Okay. Right, now what we are going to discuss here? We are going to discuss about what happens when the light is passed through this glass slab. That means when we incident a light through this glass slab, what will happen? In the last class we discussed that we took a semicircular glass slab. There we observed when we incident the light from the rarer medium to the denser medium, there is a refraction of light will takes place, right? The bending of light will takes place. That we learnt up to now. Now let us see what happens when the light is passed through this glass slab. Okay, and we are going to discuss about what is the nature of image. What we are going to discuss here? Nature of image. That means where is the position of image. Okay, that means when we place an object in front of this glass slab, where the image is formed. Is the image is formed in a straight line or the image is formed in a cross line? Okay, that we can learn, okay, in this activity. Okay, first we are going to learn about the nature of image, and the second point we are going to discuss here is a lateral shift. What is lateral shift and what is vertical shift, I will tell now. Okay, vertical shift. And the third point we are going to discuss is how we have to calculate the refractive index. Refractive index of glass slab. Okay, now what we are going to discuss here? here we are going to learn about what is the nature of image. That means when we place an object in front of this glass slab, where is the position of image, okay, and what type of image is formed there, okay, that we will discuss now. And the second point we are going to discuss is a lateral shift and a vertical shift. What is meant by lateral shift and what is meant by vertical shift, I will tell now, okay. And then we are going to discuss the refractive index of glass slab, how we have to calculate the refractive index of this rectangular glass slab, okay. So for that we have to do this lab activity, okay. For this lab activity we need the materials, right? What are the materials required here? We need a white chart, okay, and then we need a paper clamps, okay, but here I am using the notes, okay. Now, and the third one is we need a scale here, and we need a protractor, and then we need a rectangular glass slab, and then we need pins, okay, and the last one is a pen or pencil, okay. These are all the materials required, okay. Now let us see the procedure here. First we have to place a piece of a chart on the plank, okay, and we have to clamp it. And then what we have to do here, we have to place a rectangular glass slab at the middle of the chart, okay. And the second point is we have to draw the border line of this glass slab, okay. First point is we have to place the white chart. Second point is we have to place a rectangular glass slab at the middle of the chart, and we have to draw the border lines, okay, by using the pen or pencil. And then we have to remove this glass slab, okay, and make the vertices A, B, C and D, okay. That is a third point. And then now what we have to do here, we have to draw a perpendicular line on AB, okay. You can see here that yes, right, we have to draw a perpendicular line on AB. The line which is perpendicular on AB is called a normal, right? Now the fourth point is you have to place the rectangular glass slab on the same position, okay. And then the fifth point is we have to place a pin on the normal here, right. I will remove this glass slab, then you can observe here, okay. What we have to do here, we have to place a pin on the normal, and then we have to place the glass slab here in the same position, okay. Now what we have to do here, we have to observe this pin from the other plane surfaces, from the other side, okay. Observe here, right. We have to place a pin which is in a straight line, okay. Make sure that the two pins must be in a straight line, okay. The two pins must be in a straight line, right. Make sure that the two pins must be in a straight line, okay. Now remove the pin, okay, and make the mark on it, okay, and then Okay, now join this point to the CD. And now place a scale and draw a line to the CD. Okay, you can observe that there is no deviation of light. You can observe here. And we learnt already, when the light is travel through the normal, there is no deviation of light takes place in a semicircular glass slab. Now we are learned that in a rectangular glass slab also what happened, when the light is passed through the normal, there is no deviation of light will takes place. Okay, now let us see. Now place a glass slab on the white paper and draw the vertices of the glass slab. And draw the vertices of the glass slab. Okay, now remove the glass slab. Okay, and write the vertices A, B, C and D on the glass slab and draw a normal. Draw a normal on AB. Okay, now what we are doing here, we are incidenting the light with some angle, right? Right, we are incidenting the light at a 30 degrees. Okay, what we are doing here, we are incidenting the light at a 30 degrees. Okay, right, what is the angle here? The angle will be 30 degrees. The angle will be 30 degrees. Now place the glass slab in the same place. Okay, now what we have to do here, we have to insert a pin on this line. Okay, insert a pin on this line, and what we have to do here, we have to observe the pin from the other side. Okay, we have to observe this pin from the other side. Okay, right, now we have to observe this pin from the other side. I think you can see that pin here. Okay, now insert a pin and make sure that the two pins must be in a straight line. Okay, how we have to place here, we have to insert a pin, make sure that the two pins must be in a straight line. Okay, the two pins must be in a straight line. Right, you can observe here. Make sure that the two pins must be in a straight line. Right, insert a pin like this. Right, you can observe here. Here the two pins are in a straight line. Okay, here the two pins are in a straight line. Okay, children. Now what we have to do here, now remove the pins. Okay, and remove the glass slab and remove the pin here and make a mark. Okay, and now what we have to do here, we have to draw a line to CD. We have to draw a line to CD. Okay, right, you will get like this. right. And now what we have to do here, we have to draw a normal to this CD. At this point we have to draw one normal. Okay, draw a normal here, right. The ray which is comes out from the glass slab, that ray we call it as emergent ray. Okay, that ray we call it as emergent ray. Okay, and the angle between the normal and the emergent ray is called angle of emergence. Is called angle of emergence. Here we are incidenting the light, right? The ray which we are incidenting on the glass slab, that ray we call it as incident ray. That ray is called a incident ray. And the angle between the normal and the incident ray is called angle of incidence. Angle of incidence here. Okay, right. Now let us measure what is the angle of emergence with the protractor. Right. When we measure the angle between the emergent ray and the normal, we get the angle of emergence is also 30 degrees. Okay, and now inside the glass slab, here the ray is entering from rarer medium to the glass slab, right? This ray we call it as refracted ray. This is called a refracted ray. And the angle between the normal and the refracted ray is called a angle of refraction. Right, observe this here, children, carefully. Okay, here the ray which is comes out from this glass slab. Here what we did here, we place a pin on the incident ray and we observed that pin from the other side, and we kept a pin, okay, on the other side here. And what we did here, we removed that pin and then we draw a line to the CD, okay, and that line we call it as emergent ray. Okay, this line, the line which is comes out from the glass slab, that we call it as emergent ray. And then what we did here, we drawn a normal to the CD here. We drawn a normal to the CD here, and the angle between the normal and the emergent ray is called a angle of emergence. Right, what is the angle of emergence we get here? The angle of emergence is also 30 degrees. So here from this what we conclude, right, the conclusion from this activity. Okay, what we have to learn from this activity? Conclusion. Right, here we observe that the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence is same. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of emergence. Okay, and the second point what we observed here, right, here we have to learn one more point. If we extend the incident ray here, if we extend this incident ray, okay, here we can observe that the incident ray and the emergent ray both are parallel. Okay, here we can observe that the incident ray and the emergent ray both are parallel. Right, what is the second point we observed here? The incident ray and the emergent ray both are parallel. Okay, and the distance between the incident ray and the emergent ray, that we call it as lateral shift. That we call it as lateral shift. Okay, distance between the incident ray and emergent ray. Is called a lateral shift. Okay, and these are the 3 points we have to observe from this activity. At what we did in this activity, first we incident the light through the normal. When we incident the light through the normal, we observe that there is no deviation of light which takes place, and after that what we did here, we are incidenting the light with some angle to the normal. When we incident the light with some angle to the normal, then what happened? We get a emergent ray at the other side. Okay, the ray which comes out from the glass slab, that we call it as emergent ray, and the angle between the normal and the emergent ray is called a angle of emergence here. And then what is the conclusion here? Here from this activity, what we learned here, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of emergence. That means at what angle you are incidenting the light, okay, with the same angle only we get the emergent ray. That means if we place an object with the angle 30 degrees, we get the image at the 30 degrees here. Okay, that is the first aim, right? What is the aim of this activity? Here we are determining the nature of image, okay, and where the image is formed here. Okay, here when we place the object at the angle 30 degrees, then we get the image at the same angle here. Okay, and what is the second aim here? Here we are going to learn about the lateral shift. What is lateral shift? The distance between the incident ray and the emergent ray, that we call it as lateral shift. Okay, and what we can observe here, we can observe that when we extend this incident ray, the emergent ray and the incident ray both are parallel. Okay, and the distance between the incident ray and emergent ray is called a lateral shift. Okay, this is your lab activity. Okay, children. Now let us learn how we have to find the refractive index of this glass slab. Okay, let us do one more activity to understand how we have to find the refractive index of this glass slab. Okay, this is our last activity in this lesson. Okay, children. Right, what is this activity here? What we are going to find here? We are going to find the refractive index of the glass slab. Okay, this is our aim here. Okay, what is the aim here? Here we are going to find the refractive index of glass slab. Up to now we learned what is the position of image. That means where is the image is formed when we place a glass slab in between the object. Okay, right. Now what we are going to find here? We are going to find the refractive index of the glass slab. How we have to find the refractive index of a glass slab? Okay, and here we are going to learn one more point, that is a vertical shift. What is vertical shift? What is a vertical shift? Okay, these are the two aims here. Okay, what is the refractive index of glass slab? How we have to find the refractive index of glass slab? And the second one is a vertical shift. Right, let us do the activity here. Right, first what we have to do here, we have to take a glass slab and we have to place a glass slab on the white chart. Okay, and we have to place this glass slab at the middle of the, we have to place a glass slab at the middle of the paper. Okay, and then draw the borders of this glass slab here. Draw the borders of this glass slab. Okay, now what we have to do here, we have to remove this glass slab. Okay, and then write the vertices A, B, C and D. Okay, now what we have to do here? We have to draw a normal on AB. What we have to do here? We have to draw a normal on AB. Okay, right. Then now place the glass slab in the rectangle ABCD. Okay, now what we have to do here? We have to place a glass slab again in the rectangle ABCD. And now take a needle. Okay, what we have to take here? We have to take a needle. Okay, right. Before that, we have to draw this normal for a long distance. Okay. Right. And place the glass slab here. Okay. Now take a needle and then we have to place the needle, okay, at some distance. At some distance here. Okay, children. Right. Observe the pin from the other side and we have to place a pin. By observing that pin, make sure that the two pins are in a straight line. Okay, you can observe here. You can observe that the two pins are in a straight line, right? Right. Now let us observe these two pins from the top view. Right. You can observe that there is a small distance is present between the two pins. Let us point this pin as a P. Okay, this is a P, and then what we did here, we observed this pin from the other side of the glass slab and then we kept this pin, right? Let this point be Q. Okay, let this point be Q and remove the pins here. Okay, you can observe that there is a small distance is present between the P and Q, right? There is a small distance is present between the P and Q. That distance, the distance between the P and Q, we call it as a vertical shift. Vertical shift. Okay, right. What we did here? We kept the glass slab. Okay, we kept the glass slab on the rectangle ABCD and then we placed a pin at point P. Okay, and then we observed this pin from the other side and then we kept the other pin. Make sure that the two pins are in a straight line. The two pins are in a straight line here. Here you can observe this. The two pins are in a straight line, right? Right. This the distance between the P and Q is called a vertical shift. The distance between P and Q is called a vertical shift. Okay. Now let us find the refractive index of this glass slab. Right. How we have to find the refractive index of this glass slab? Right. For that, what we have to do here? First, we have to take the thickness of this glass slab. That means we have to find the thickness of this glass slab. Okay. Right, let us see by using the scale here. Okay. Right, what is the thickness of the glass slab here? 2 centimeters. The thickness of the glass slab is 2 centimeters. Thickness of the glass slab is 2 centimeters. Right, then let us find the refractive index of this glass slab. Right, what is the refractive index of this glass slab? The refractive index, the formula for to find the refractive index of the glass slab is a refractive index of glass slab is a, how we have to find the refractive index of the glass slab? Thickness of the glass slab by thickness of the slab minus vertical shift. Okay, with this formula we can find the refractive index of the glass slab. What is vertical shift? The distance between P and Q. The distance between the P and Q is called a vertical shift. With this we can find the refractive index of the glass slab. Refractive index of the glass slab is equal to thickness of the glass slab by thickness of the glass slab minus vertical shift. Here what is the thickness of the glass slab we get here? The thickness of the glass slab will be 2 centimeters. And now let us find the distance between the P and Q. Okay, what is the distance here? We get 1 centimeter. Okay, you can observe here the distance between the P and Q is 1 centimeter. That means the vertical shift is 1 centimeter. Then the refractive index is equal to 1 by 1 minus 2. That means the refractive index of the glass slab is 1 point. Right. So this is the formula we have to use to find the refractive index of the glass slab. Here we get the refractive index of the glass slab is 1. Okay, the refractive index is 1 here. Okay, what is the formula here? The refractive index of the glass slab is equals to thickness of the glass slab by thickness of the slab minus vertical shift. Okay, thank you.